Here we go.
Today, Lord, it's my Dwayne.
My name's Jasmine.
We're Dwayne and Jazz. Today we have for you King Kong versus
Godzilla.
Godzilla. We're doing reviewing the MonsterVerse whole series as well.
Yes, of this MonsterVerse.
Yeah,
There's a lot
this
of
is a
Kong
reboot,
and
right.
Godzilla movies, but this movie was based on the other movies that were the reboots of the originals. We're looking at the reboots.
There we go. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, before we start, if you guys haven't got your guys, please follow us on social medias in the link and description below. Don't forget to subscribe.
So for the past few days, we were watching these movies. We started off with the Kong reboot that had Samuel L. Jackson. It had a lot of people.
It had 90%. It felt like it had 90% of the dang Marvel universe in it.
It had Captain Marvel, it had Loki, it had Nick Fury, it had NWA in it, it had Dr. Dre, it had Eazy-E.
It had everybody.
So many people. Like, it had so many people in this movie. I was just like, dang. Like, it was just so many. But I liked that movie. That movie was cool. It was basically like how I saw that movie. How I came to it was like, okay, Kong is chilling. Kong is chilling. All the other Titans on that island are chilling, living their life and everything. And then here go humans.
Yep.
Humans messing it up again.
Messing it up.
And this is around the Vietnam War, so we're not as this is in the past, and that's when we get introduced to Monarch, which is basically a secret. Not so much secret.
It's like a
organization.
It was secret.
It was
in this
secret.
Movie.
Yeah.
It was secret in this movie, and then after this movie, they had to say what they were.
Yeah.
After that, because people knew.
People essentially kind of knew. I think it was like secret government knew. Like the government knew, but other than that, because they kind of like lied to him, which was kind of messy. They kind of lied to Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, who was
saying
like
that they were there, like trying to find like resources. And stuff like that. But they were really trying to study Kong. And stuff like that. But they found him, and I told Dwayne, I was like, watch them come there. It's gonna be a big hand that comes smashing down. That's exactly what happened.
But that's their fault because they put charges in the skull Island.
They wanted to explore the Hollow Earth theory that they had and everything. But I'm just like, you're gonna destroy all of the creatures that are there already, and that's gonna piss off the big things that are there. So when they were getting attacked, I wasn't even like, oh, it's bad. Like, I'm just like, no, y'all kind of deserve that.
Yeah.
Y'all kind of deserve Kong's wrath because he was sitting there chilling. All he's trying to do is just protect this island and the inhabitants of it because y'all are the ones shooting at him and doing all this other stuff, and he's just sitting there trying to have a good day.
Have a good day. He was chilling.
He
can't.
He
can't now.
They can't. So it really, I love the movie though, and Samuel L. Jackson was the big bad in the movie because he was like the military, like sergeant basically, and
he wanted revenge on Kong. He killed his platoon.
Yeah, he wanted revenge because Kong killed his men in his army and stuff like that, which I get, but low key it's your fault.
Yeah, I think it's
your fault. Yeah. It's your fault.
I would have been mad at the guys, the scientists that made us come over here.
Y'all could have landed peacefully and done something else. Y'all didn't have to blow stuff up. That's what pissed them off. So now we get to Godzilla. Godzilla was the first one.
The first one,
was better than the second one. Okay,
to us.
Then the first one had Pietro and Wanda, not his brother and sister, but his husband and wife. So that was a little weird for me to watch. I was just because of the timing, like because I watched this movie after watching WandaVision. I know WandaVision came after, but whatever. But yeah, it was a little weird because Dwayne was like, "Oh, they could act in other stuff." I was like, "Yeah, but why did they have to choose those two specific people to be husband and wife?" I just couldn't. So I was just like, whatever, I was like, okay. But this movie, I wouldn't say was as good as Kong.
No, I don't think so.
But it was better than the sequel,
which is Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Godzilla King vs. Monsters.
Which had 11 in it.
Yeah, but in Godzilla, the first one, it was basically like Godzilla was protecting again.
Yeah, but they didn't know. It was like
they didn't know. They weren't taking it as that. They just see this big, scary. Because he looks scary.
He does not look like he happy creep. No.
Like Kong just looks like a big monkey. Like you'll see him and you'll like see him maybe twice.
Is that a big monkey?
You'll just be like.
But you look at Godzilla, you be like, what is that?
Godzilla, you be like, oh, like I gotta.
Godzilla.
You look at Godzilla, you be like, I gotta run. So,
right. So they start off the story with the Breaking Bad. I can't remember his name. The guy that plays Breaking Bad, Heisenberg. He's the father in here, and he's like a scientist at a nuclear site. And then basically, his wife had to get sacrificed because of the toxin levels, and come to find out the radiation was basically bringing these monsters that were in hibernation back, awakening them.
Yeah.
And so now you got this monster on this other side being awakened, and then she has a boyfriend, and now they're trying to mate and have eggs.
A male monster and a female
Right.
monster, and they were trying to get to each other so that they could procreate. And Godzilla was sensing that, and he was like, "No, we can't have that
I'm
happen."
the king of the monsters.
Yeah, because Godzilla was not like he was awake. He was going to them because he was just basically like, "I'm the apex predator here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm the top dog.
And
So when I'm
everybody.
sensing this other thing, I'm gonna go get that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go get that, and it's gonna be over." So, and he wasn't trying to really fight the humans at all. Like he was just trying to get to the other monster, which the other humans, of course, didn't understand in the military. And when the researcher was like, "No, Godzilla like is an ancient being. Like leave him alone. He's gonna fight and help us." And they were like, "No, we gotta shoot at him or whatever." Like that.
Yeah. So it was like it was good though. I understood what was going on. It was kind of slow here and there. Like when he was like in Japan to see his dad, and his dad was like, "Oh, the radiation should kill us," and then that's when they found out like
that there was no radiation.
There was no radiation,
because
and
Godzilla summed it
it's a
up.
conspiracy, right?
Yeah.
And then Wanda is like a nurse, and she's like in this other part of town, and he's like a soldier, and he's telling these other soldiers, "I'm a soldier," so he basically got all the access to everything. That was my only problem.
That was the thing that
He was
got
like,
me.
so they don't need their credentials or nothing?
No soldier uniform or nothing, but he just mentioned that he was, and they said, "Okay, hop on board, buddy."
Yeah,
and I was just like, "All right, he don't gotta show you no car."
No car, no nothing.
So I was just like, whatever. So the first movie, I'm like, okay, yeah, cool.
Introduction, yep,
yeah.
good.
Now the second movie, that one pissed me off because that one, that mother in that movie. If I was not already the husband in that movie and we were already not divorced, if we were still together, we would not have been together at the end of the movie, okay? I didn't even care if she lived or died, okay? Because I'm like, the way that you had no regard for me or our child showed your true colors. She was like, "Man, this research over everything. This research over the safety of my daughter, even though I did lose a son. Yeah. I don't care. We could make another child, basically, in her mind."
Yeah.
So I was just like, you know what? This woman is the menace in this movie.
For real. She was basically like sacrificing everyone. She summoned, she had like this little orca device, and then, she summoned, in the beginning of the movie, we meet Mothra, which is like an ancient butterfly. A big moth. And then she like figure out a way to communicate with it, and then these other men come in and shoot everything up. And then she ends up going with these men, and
come to find out she's working with them, and then the dad finds out that like their daughter's in danger because of this, and so he finally finds them, and then he's like, "Maddie, come to me, baby. I'm safety. Come to me." And the mom says, "Madison, don't go."
Right.
And then Madison, of course, is a child stuck between both parents, and then she's looking at her dad like he's crazy, so she decides to go back with mom, and the mom basically blew up the thing so that they could awaken Ghidorah, which is a 3-headed dragon.
That's not even from this planet.
That's not even from here.
Like an invasion. He came from the comments and then tried to invade. And man, long story short, Godzilla beats him, but there's a lot of destruction because of it.
Yeah.
And then
the other monsters look at him as
the apex,
the apex predator or apex titan, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Titan. They call him Titans
but the
or whatever.
King, they basically acknowledge him as the king, and then they look back at like these other ancient like stories of saying like how it's gonna be Kong versus Godzilla, and it's kind of how they were setting up this new movie.
Which is
Yep. And so then we finally get here, and
it's
this movie was I don't know how to say it.
I feel like okay, so. I give it before we're gonna give our rating first before we go into it, because it's like some parts that I feel like aren't necessary per se.
Yes.
But like I give King Kong the Skull Island #1 right there.
Yes.
Then I give King Kong versus Godzilla. Then I got Godzilla. Then I have King of the Monsters at the bottom, at the very bottom.
Yeah.
But basically like in the beginning we're meet to this guy who's an engineer, for Monarch. And he is also a conspiracy theorist who has a podcast where he's basically airing out what
he was funny though.
He was great, but I'm like, they haven't, like, my part, like, that's why I was like, they haven't caught this guy yet. Like, he's legit telling company secrets.
Well, this movie was 3 years after what happened in that Godzilla King of the
Monsters, right.
Yeah. So it's 3 years after that, and then he's still having conspiracies like, hey, like, you know, like these radiation levels.
Well, it's not Monarch. It's not Monarch. It's called Apex. I'm sorry,
Well,
Apex, the company
yeah.
Apex.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just like, yeah, basically, this and this, and today I'm gonna do something really dangerous and get the secrets. And I'm like, so nobody in this company knows.
No, he said that he implanted himself in the company, so he was working there.
But I'm saying nobody in the company was like, yo, you the guy on the podcast.
They don't pay attention to that.
I'm saying, I don't know. There might be a million of Titan podcasts.
And who says that he shows his face?
He doesn't show his face.
Right.
But
so
they don't recognize his voice?
No, they don't pay attention to the work.
They recognize us with masks on. And somebody recognized me and Jazz already out and about with our mask on. So do you think they're not going to recognize his voice at all?
Maybe not.
I don't know. But basically, I'm sorry, that's nitpicking. Basically, he's like, he found a way to like infiltrate and somehow 11 found him.
You gonna call her 11?
I'm calling her 11 this whole time because like I didn't enjoy her portrayal because she didn't hardly have any lines.
Okay, her lines in like what was it? The Godzilla versus
she didn't have that much lines. I think about
Godzilla King of Monsters, and that movie she barely had any lines. Like most of her lines was mom, no, and dad. That was it.
And screaming.
That was all the
a lot of
shit.
screaming.
And screaming. That's why I couldn't really deal with that movie. But then this one, she did a lot more
lines.
talking,
Right.
And she's like basically.
But like she found him because he said something about bleach. And then went to this Chinese restaurant, because they got fish and stuff they selling. And basically they her friend bribed him to let her know who the guy is. And that's what I'm letting you know. How, if these kids could find this guy that they never seen before.
They had to make some sort of plot around it so that, you know, humans could be in the movie. Because we really didn't need them.
But we did not need them. I hardly, and then they had, let's talk about King Kong, his section. I loved his section.
Well, this movie heavily revolved around King Kong. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they spent a lot of time on Kong versus they did Godzilla. Like, all they showed was Godzilla basically coming back to the mainland and messing stuff up seeming randomly, but it's really a thing that he's sensing that is like basically calling to him to like to make him mad and make him attack it and stuff. So he's trying to find it, but it's killing people. So they're like, oh, the thing that we thought was our savior is actually attacking us, and then they're like, no, it's for a reason. So they spent a lot of time on Kong trying to get him because they're like, oh, we can use him to fight against Godzilla, basically. Because
Apex was basically making Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, they were making Mecha Godzilla the whole time using Ghidorah's head. You got this.